Small cities across America are facing the challenge of creating cultural change and redefining their futures. Owosso, Michigan is an historically significant community in the midst of that transformation process.
The post-industrial, postmodern Midwest is in the midst of an identity crisis. We've got to win the small towns and the small cities back to a more robust sense of cultural identity, purpose, and significance. We've had the worst economy in this country. 53% of our college and university graduates have been leaving because they couldn't find jobs, and that's all starting to change now. What we see here in Owosso now is people coming into a new sense of pioneering purpose.
You know, I spent a lot of my time here in Owosso in the music community and engaging culture and the younger generation through music. I'm now in the process of doing that through coffee and opening a business downtown to serve craft coffee, which is the same parallel to music. It's a place for community to happen. Music was just a platform for us to build relationships. I mean, it got us to venues, it got us to different towns where we could engage with people, because people are what really matter.
If we're going to connect with people, we have to rediscover shared physical space. Probably the most, prosaically accessible manifestation of that is cafes.
One of the things that I was ready and willing to do was just leave this town. I was going to go to New York and try and work my way up some ladder and make my story. I felt that my story was elsewhere. It was in New York, or it was in some place of significance. And being around Gordon and being around people who appreciate the history of this community and this town awakened within me that, listen, I had never really connected with the community. I never really even given it a chance.
People have forgotten that history. They've neglected that history. They don't have a sense of identity that's not only rooted in history, but rooted in purpose for the present and the future.
As Owosso moves through the 21st century, it undergoes a process of rediscovering and reinventing itself.
When your hands are on something together in a physical space and place, and you're working on solutions that benefit everybody educationally, improving housing, making possibilities for children to play, making a better community and culture, that brings something else out. And we are learning how to work together, how to overcome differences, how to have a common cause and a bigger vision than ourselves and our fears and selfishness, and do something that's going to be meaningful and sustainable.
Marlene Webster had the vision to create The Intersection, a nonprofit organization wanting to give opportunities for Owosso's poor.
We're trying to pair people with mentors who will help them be able to have purpose and meaning in their lives, to not just be constantly sort of living from crisis to crisis, but that we can help people move to a place of flourishing.
In 2012, the organization opened a family impact center in Pleasant Valley Mobile Home Park, a neighborhood known for its high poverty rate.
We don't see poverty in rural areas, it's sort of hidden. And as we've started to look at our community with new eyes, we see that there are people who, for generations, have really not had access to some of the opportunities that other people have had access to.
Hope is contagious, and it's one of the greatest ingredients for creating something that's going to be sustainable for our communities and the cultures we want to live in.